Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my second vlog. If you haven't seen the first one, go give that a watch. That's pretty much just a walk around of the track bike that's in front of you. Today I'm going to be taking the front and rear wheels off, ready to put some road tyres on. So I've just cracked off the two pinch bolts, which are these two here, these two 12mm. Now I'm going to crack off the 22. Now what you want to do, even though it's on the stand at the back, I still like to try and see if I can video this. Hold on to the front brake whilst I'm doing it, because if not, you can find the bike will still want to move. So pull the front brake in. Obviously they're still connected at the moment. Put a bit of weight on the tyre. There you go. Come on, lovely, didn't move. If not, you can find if you don't put the brake on, sometimes the bike will try and move. It's just a good thing to do. So that's that one there. That's the axle cracked off, so now all I've got to do is, once I've got that in the air, undo the other pinch bolts the other side, and that should go through. Depending on how tight the pistons are, they might just come off easy. Yeah, not too bad at all. I always put the screw the bolts back in. If not, you can easily lose them. So you can either leave them hanging or tie them up. So there you go, wrapped up on there. So I've now tied the other caliper up the other side exactly the same. That's off. So what I've got to do now is jack up the front. Just got a little jack, tiny bit of wood in there. Just like that. Now before I take the wheel out, I'm going to wrap a strap around this beam, just in case the worst happens. Don't want it falling down. I think, to be honest, even if it did drop down and it just sat on where the bottom height of the jack, it probably wouldn't go anywhere, but rather than risk that. So yeah, I got the bike strapped round. It's literally just a strap like that for a hook strapped up. I've just let off the jack lightly to check they would take the weight, and yeah, it was fine. So that's more for an emergency. I'm just going to knock out the axle and pretty much the wheel should just come out. One thing to note when you're doing this is you want to keep an eye on the spacers that are in here, because they're sometimes different on each side. So you want to keep however many to space the wheel out properly. Especially, like I said, these aren't the original. They're CBR 1000 RR wheels. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but yeah, the standard wheels that came with it, the 929 wheels, have got wets on, so I've just got them as spares. Then you just want to get a small hammer and a punch. This is a bit overkill, but it's what I've got at home at the moment. So jack up a smidge more. So there we go, it's the front wheel up. Something like that, nice and slide in there. Also put a little bit of rag or something around there really, just to soften the... Get a bit of rag. I think this might be a pair of Sarah's old shorts. That'd do the job. Drop it down. Side again. That's the best way of doing it, I think, anyway. Don't have any worry about anything hanging around, falling over, anything like that. Right, so if we go to the back now, I'm now going to crack off the 32mm nut that's on the back, which is this one just in here. roll the wheel forward like that, putting the chains off. Lovely job, mate. Same as the front really, and it's just a little bit heavier. I like to put my foot underneath. Again, keep an eye on your spacers. The caliper will just come out with that, which isn't too difficult. So there we go. Again, I've got a spacer on there, so I'll stick that back in with the spacer. And then same again for that side. So just to make it easier when I do go to refit it, I'm just going to pry the pads back now, or should I say the piston there. These pads look nice and new, luckily. They look good. So what you want to do is just get a screwdriver like in there. Obviously if your piston's seized, you might have to strip the caliper down, but this one is pretty good. So you can just get in there very lightly. You don't want to take any nicks out of the pad. I say if your piston's not seized, it'll go back fairly easily. That's left more than enough room for the disc now. Yeah, just quickly, you can actually slide the caliper, if it's got like a little notch on the bracket there, you can slide that notch back in and then put the shaft back in where it should be, and just keeps it out of the way. Then you can just tie it up if you want, but I'm just going to clean up in behind the swing arm now. This is just some water in a squirty can. Rinse out, put a bit of water on it first, and then I've got a bit of this. It's not muck off in this bottle actually. I think it's called Rhino Goo, some of that. Friend Sean, who I go laning with on my KTM, he let me have a bit of this, and actually it seems quite good stuff. So get a toothbrush. We'll have a cup of coffee as well. With my old snap off cup. Right. So I've given it a quick clean around the swing arm and that, nothing too major, just wanted to get any of the big lumps off and then around the caliper. Next I'll be swapping the tyres over, which I have here, so you can have a quick look. So this is what I'm putting on. I didn't want to buy any that were, you know, flat spotted, but they look like they'll be alright, so I'm going to chuck them on. What else have I done? I quickly pulled the sprocket cover off the front so I could have a look, check what condition the sprocket was in, and also check how many teeth it's got. And I can see it says 15 there. I'm 99% sure standard gearing is 16 front, 42 rear, so it looks like we know the back's a 44 tooth, and if that's a 15, it looks like someone's dropped one tooth on the front and gone up two on the back, so that should make the acceleration quite a lot better. I don't know the exact ratio, I have to double check it. Something else I've noticed as I'm looking around is I was just having a look near the radiator, and the top bolt, yeah, it's difficult to try and do it, but there's a bit of movement on the it looks like that. I thought that bolt was loose, but I went to do it up, and well, I think maybe it's been cross-threaded because it's tight. So probably going to have to try and take it out. It might break, and if it does, we'll have to drill out and retap, or I might leave it. I'm going to have a look on the other side and see how much thread's actually in there. If the thread's most of the way through and it looks like it'll be more hassle than it's worth, I might just leave that like that. But ideally, no, I don't really want to leave that. I probably will try and get that out, and then if I have to drill and tap out the frame for a slightly bigger bolt, because the one on the other side, which is just up in here, it's difficult to see. Oh, that one snapped off. So yes, that's why we've got a bit of movement. That one has already snapped off in the end. You see just up here in there, that bolt is gone, so that's why we have a bit of movement on the radiator. So either someone's probably cross-threaded both, gone to undo one, it snapped and they've left it. So oh, thanks. Oh, there. Come on. ready to go. Right, that's it for this episode, guys. So make sure you give it a like and subscribe, and I'll keep you updated.